Hello, Pewter Report listeners. My name is James Hill, and in this video today, I have a pretty exciting topic. We are going to be going yet again through a Pro Football Focus rankings list. Today, it is going to be the wide receivers, top 32 wide receivers ahead of the 2023 NFL season. Now, I will say this, ideally, every team should have a guy on here because obviously every team should have a number one wide receiver that you hope is in the top 32, but that's not always the case. I imagine we're going to see a lot of guys who are playing on same teams, like the Miami Dolphins, for example, maybe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have some good wide receivers in there, as well as some other teams thrown in there as well. I also know that it's a pretty hotly debated topic, who is the number one wide receiver in the NFL. We're not going to get into that today either. That's not really our place. We're just going to analyze what the heck is going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into this list. So at number one, Pro Football Focus has Davante Adams. Again, it is what it is. We're not going to really debate this or argue this too much. Again, I know that it is a very subjective thing. Justin Jefferson at number 2, Tyreek Hill at number 3, Jamar Chase number 4, Stephon Diggs number 5. Keep on going. Cooper Kupp at 6, AJ Brown at 7, Terry McLaurin at 8, CeeDee Lamb at 9, Deebo Samuel at 10, and the first Tampa Bay Buccaneer has arrived on this list. You have Mike Evans of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The paragraph reads as follows: the consistency shown by Evans throughout his NFL career has been remarkable. He has caught more than 65 passes for at least 1,000 yards in all 9 of his seasons, and in 6 of those years, he recorded 8 or more touchdowns. Injuries have started to bite over the past few seasons, limiting his effectiveness and if not keeping him off the field entirely, but he remains an elite target, particularly downfield. And folks, look, I will say that injuries have taken their toll a little bit. We've seen Mike Evans deal with a lot of hyperextensions, a lot of strains and whatnot, but I don't necessarily think, in my opinion, that it takes away a ton from his overall effectiveness. I mean, the paragraph says, obviously, and everybody can make this distinction for themselves, Mike Evans has never had a season under 1,000 yards in his NFL career. It's pretty freaking crazy to think about. Everybody knows that he's on a Hall of Fame pace. Everybody knows that this is a guy that I think you can make an argument, and not even a hard argument at that he is the most effective offensive skill position player in Buccaneers history, possibly just the most effective offensive player in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history, depending on, how you want to view things with longevity and overall long-term impact and whatnot. Like, Mike Evans is that dude. He's nicknamed Mr. Consistency for a reason. He's really good. So I do think that it is fair to have Mike Evans up here at number 11 on this list. I think that is a pretty fair ranking. And I mean, hey, you've got him above guys like DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf. There are a couple of guys that are up here that kind of make you raise your eyebrows a little bit, like Garrett Wilson at 13, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, he's actually pretty good at number 15 there. DJ Moore, Jalen Waddle. There are a lot of good younger wide receivers that Mike Evans is ahead here in this situation because the dude is just super consistent. He really is just that good. I think the guys above him, I think, are relatively fair. Like Deebo Samuel's insane. CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin. You have AJ Brown up there. The guys above him, I'm not really going to debate too much because I think that those guys are all really, really good wide receivers. I think that 11 is overall a pretty good slot for Mike Evans there. And, hey, shout out to Mike Evans for getting that ranking. You keep on going down the list, though. You got DK Metcalf. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, as I said. You keep on going down. DJ Moore. Shout out to DJ Moore. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him and the Chicago Bears. Keep on going. Devonta Smith at number 18. T. Higgins at number 19. Brandon Ayuk at number 20. There you go. And you have the second Tampa Bay Buccaneer here on the list in Chris Godwin, coming in at number 21. The paragraph reads as follows: Godwin's best season came back in 2019. He has been a consistently excellent receiver from primarily the slot throughout his NFL career. He's never once caught less than 50% of his contested targets over a single season, and for his career has come up with 60.7% of such passes, one of the highest rates in football. Now, that was a little bit of a shorter paragraph that I think doesn't necessarily, and obviously it was good, hey, shout out to Chris Godwin, I think that is a fine paragraph to describe what he can do. He is one of the top flight wide receivers in the entirety of the NFL, one of the, again, hey, top 32 according to Pro Football Focus, but to kind of go a little bit deeper and piggyback a little bit off of that paragraph, Yeah, Godwin plays phenomenally in the slot. He's a great perimeter wide receiver as well. He is definitely very much similar levels of impact as Mike Evans, and I would say even in some ways more impactful. You look at Mike Evans, they talked about him being a vertical downfield type of threat, and I think that Chris Godwin does that, but I think he also offers a little bit more in terms of versatility, right? Like you see Godwin, he can catch screens like nobody's business, and he can do short intermediate routes. Like he can do so many different types of things in the slot, outside on the perimeter, catching screen passes, just all in all being such an incredibly balanced wide receiver. That's where I think Godwin's value lies. And, hey, to talk about injuries, I know that injuries have affected Chris Godwin in the past. He's missed a pretty decent stretches of games in some situations and in seasons in the past. But, look, at the end of the day, again, it seems like he is getting his explosiveness back. We have written about that on PewterReport.com as well. He has had some significant injuries in the past as well, and it definitely seems like he is returning to form. Last year, you did see some hiccups here or there, but overall, I think Godwin is going to continue to show that consistency, going to continue to show that explosiveness. And I think having him as a ranking here does make a lot of sense here at 21, right? I know that like you may say, well, Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins, why are some of these guys above him? I think that injuries may play a factor into this. I think that if Godwin is healthy, throughout this upcoming season, and he is able to showcase that explosiveness that he is saying that he is getting back, then I think you could certainly have him higher up on this list. I think you could have him, possibly even as high up as maybe number 18 or maybe even higher up than that. I think that the sky is possibly the limit here for Chris Godwin whenever you do look at him returning from injuries, him possibly returning to form there because of just how stinking balanced this guy is, because of how versatile he is and what he offers the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. But yeah, just a review, by the way, like Chris Godwin, the Buccaneers number 2 wide receiver, coming in at number 21, and then you have Mike Evans, the Buccaneers number 1 wide receiver, coming up at number 11. That's a pretty good wide receiver combo, man. Like, that is a pretty good situation to have, and I think it speaks volumes to, firstly, Jason Licht's ability of drafting wide receivers. Jason Licht drafted both of those wide receivers, and really the talent that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have. Like, whoever's going to be a quarterback, be it Baker Mayfield, be it Kyle Trask, they're going to be in some pretty good hands at the wide receiver position because of who they have as their number 2 guys in Mike Evans and in Chris Godwin as well. But folks, what do you guys think about these rankings? Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Again, Mike Evans at number 11, Chris Godwin coming in at number 21. Let us know your thoughts and opinions about this down in the comments section below. We would greatly appreciate it. Expect more videos here on the Pewter Report TV YouTube channel. Very excited to be uploading content on here and ready to rock and roll. But folks, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, folks, we'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now.